So today we're working on middle-aged, which we had a presentation for last time. The key features to that would be, syncing the, that's so weird. I don't know why it does that. Syncing the eye, and then the nasolabial fold, which we have going from the inside of the nostril down to the nose to labial lips. Okay. The jowl, which we talked about, which we had a good schematic for. You want to indicate those on your schematic, and then maybe trying some hair color, right? So would you like to share your research? I will give you some share. Okay.
So can I start?
Yes.
Yeah, so I'm gonna stick with
Lisa Kudrow.
Yeah, and I already made a sketch.
Yeah, let me take a look at her again.
Oh, at her?
Oh yeah, she has very dark. But also then, did you do 2 images of her? Did you find 2?
No, just one.
Because sometimes when you look at 2 different images, even of the same person, you'll get more information. So let me look at your sketch again. One thing that I noticed about her picture compared to your sketch is that look carefully right here in the inner eye of her picture. She's got shadow in here that she's covering up. So you're aware that part of what actors are doing is they're trying to make themselves look younger. Okay. So, but you can see she has this shadow right here.
Yeah.
You need to put onto your sketch, because right now
I have it. It's a little bit, yeah, it's like darker on top because I put like eyeliner.
But it's not, I don't think it's eyeshadow. I think it's the sinking in of, I think it's the contouring of the eye bone.
Yeah, she has that. Okay.
So that helps give age, because the eye falls away, and sinks in. So that's that is one of the characteristics of middle age. So you'll want to include that. And then she has a pretty good jawline, but I could see a little hint under her chin. Let's see that. Yeah. Yeah, see that? And also you can see where she's highlighted right here, and she's got, did you put that on your sketch?
Yeah. Yeah. And also, what about the neck?
Yeah.
Should we do something with it?
Yeah. You can especially get those 2 chords going. Yeah.
Okay, I'll try it.
And just do it to what you can do. So when you're working with your neck, and this is kind of important, take a tissue. And put it inside the neck edge like this.
Okay.
So that you're not going to get the edge of your garment messy. Just a tissue, and you can put it right here. That way you can work down to this point. But if you touch, you'll do that. Then you can take it out for the picture. Okay.
I think it would be interesting to to work with the neck as well.
Yeah. And also women tend to show that more than men, because men have hair.
Yeah.
So they have that natural camouflage.
Yeah.
Okay. You might just take a moment and see if you find a second picture of her.
Yeah. Okay.
Because she may have one that's not as glamorous.
I like this picture because, of course, it's hard to tell through the screen, but I can see like all of the detail. Detail.
And here, very clear nasal labial. Where she's smiling, you really can see that. Yeah.
Yeah, I will find it.
Okay, Tyler. Who did you pick?
Hello.
Hi.
Awesome. Can I share screen?
Yeah.
Let's see. Should be under screen. Yep, screen 1. So it should be showing good old DiCaprio.
Yeah.
So what I realize is that him at his age like this looks a lot like my dad. The blue eyes, the more of a circular, well, not circular, more of like a square,
rectangle.
Smaller head structure.
He really has a rectangle shape.
He definitely has. my dad and he share a lot of features, just that my dad has somewhat shorter hair. But one thing I'm pulling from this is I'm using this kind of as a reference and kind of like what would,
Exactly.
yeah.
Well, you
for
can definitely
that.
see the kind of eye bag coming. You definitely see the nasal
Mhm.
labials. You see sort of that jowl thing starting to happen, and you're going to have to fight against
Yes.
your narrower face there by using highlight. Yeah.
Mhm.
And do you have a second picture?
I do, and this one's a little more, it has a bit more detail. This
Oh,
is
yeah.
McConaughey, who's got hair that I can more resemble if I just get it wet.
Right.
And
Right.
but aside from that, he's got much more significant crow's feet for his eyes, nasolabial,
Yeah.
somewhat noticeable. As I went ahead and drew it, I did more of a basis on him rather than DiCaprio, just because
Well,
my brother looks more like my dad than I do.
his face shape is more like yours. So you
Yes.
can, that's why it's really good to have two references,
Mhm.
because you can see and identify with both. And then you're making something that's new. When we have you do a likeness, that's a whole different thing.
Mhm.
Okay, good
So I'm
job.
trying
So
to
you
work
look like you're ready to go.
my only thing is, should I, drawing while I went ahead and drew it, it looks more like it's in its late 50s,
Let's
60s or
see.
so. But let's see, is this
So just stick your,
so far?
or actually you have to stop screen share so I can see your camera.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
There we go.
And then hold it up to your camera.
Currently, that's what I've got. I love that it went around it.
I don't think so. I think when you execute, you'll be okay with that.
Mhm.
Right now, it looks like his head is right where your head was. It was remarkable.
I'm really surprised how it really covers the green screen on that.
Yeah.
I'm not using a green screen. It's just, this is Zoom. This
Yeah,
is pretty
just
good.
abuse it. Yeah, great. I would go ahead with that. It's easier to pull back, and when you powder, it will automatically pull it back.
And I feel like putting it onto the canvas of my lovely face will make it
More
mix
useful.
a bit better. Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Miranda, do you have your research for middle-aged?
Yes, I was just going to use a picture of my mom.
Okay, you gonna show it to us?
Yes, let me
Do you want to
get
screen share or do you hold it up?
I'll just hold it up for now.
Okay.
So sorry, this was like,
Oh yeah, that's great. Now she's showing something that is really important, because notice her mom has glasses. That accessory can be an incredible aging device. So don't neglect it. And if you are going to incorporate glasses, Miranda, let's take a picture both ways.
okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I also have glasses. I'm just not wearing them right now.
Right.
But I'll just incorporate those into the look. But yeah. And she has like a gray stripe in her hair.
Yep.
I don't know if you can.
And you can do that. Now, remember, we're going to do that with the toothbrush. It's the last thing we do. I'm going to go to the other room and I'll come back and we'll talk about how we're going to do that slightly graying of the hair.
So should we start?
Go ahead and start.
Okay.
And then when Sydney comes, I'll let her in. And also then we'll go back to the discussion. Ellie is on the soccer team, Miranda. So we're going to try and open a discussion if people would meet up with her at times when she could do it, because soccer meets at exactly this time. So anyway, I talked to Tyler and Anastasia in the breakout room at the end of last time. So we'll see how that goes. Okay, I'll see you guys in a few. So to indicate your hair color and just do a few little stripes, you want to pick out your hair coloring. This is the Snow White. You want to shake it. This brush, I'm going to show you a couple of options. So this brush is going to give you a really gross view, okay? So it's going to be a stripe. And you never want to touch your scalp, but you can see that it's sort of a blob on there, right? But you really don't want to touch your scalp because you don't want it to be that heavy. Whereas a toothbrush can give you the individual color of it. So let me get that for you. So a toothbrush which I always have a couple of them in my makeup kit. This happens to be one, and you can just use the color on it. I'm putting it off here. You can also put the color into a flat container and pick up color that way. So I'm picking it up here. So I have it just on the tip of my brush. And then when I put it on, I can really put it into the hair and get it on just specific hairs individually. So it's a bit more uniform, but also lighter than having this pointy brush stuck on your hair. And then after you do that, to make it more natural, you want to comb or brush it so that you have it come in through the hair. And you can see that this hair is very natural. This is more striped. So the key to this is don't touch your head, and I'll show you why. Because I'll do my eyebrows. That'll be a good test. So if I just do my eyebrows, you just do the hair. If I touch my eyebrows, my skin, you get a stripe. Okay, so just touch the hairs only. Miranda's made a great stripe on her hair. So we can do that. Let's take a look at each person. Miranda, you want to go first? Unmute and I will pin you.
Alrighty. Okay. So,
we'll hide our views. Tyler, we'll hide our videos so that we can see Miranda mostly, and hide Anastasia. Great.
okay.
Perfect.
So let me show you my reference picture again. Just
Mhm.
so that's my mom, and this is her like gray stripe right there.
Right?
I did it a little bit more drastically, just but so that I did the little stripey with the toothbrush, and then so from far away, I did the highlights like around the face, and I contoured.
Yeah.
And I used the Ben Nye brown eyeliner to do the wrinkles. So I like creased my forehead to get like to see where my natural wrinkles would be. And I did like right here, and I did the crow's feet. I also did the wrinkles in my eye, on my under eyes. And right here is like very prominent with my mom specifically, just like right here. And then I did like lip liner and like matte lipstick, but without like moisturizing my lips with like chapstick or something, so I could get like more of a wrinkly kind of look.
Right. Drier look, which is typical. The skin loses its moisture, so that's really smart. One thing I would say, I think it's a very successful, and I think the hair is successful. You could brush that out. You brush your stripe, and it could even be more natural, or comb it. The other thing is the under the eye bag line is a little more specific than your nasolabial, and you could just take your sponge and almost, like the kiss of a feather, just rub it, touch it just to the edge of it, and it will just slightly fade.
Okay.
And that will make it in the same, what we want to do is look at the face from top to bottom so that nothing sticks out and everything is more uniform. Like clearly the under eye and the nasolabial are the two dominant things with the middle-aged. So, but the under eye is just a hair more obvious.
Okay.
So just try that and then we'll come back to you. Perfect.
Okay.
Good job.
Thank you.
Okay, you go ahead and hide, and we'll have, who wants to go? Anastasia?
Okay.
And you too, and we will hide the rest of us so we can see you.
Yeah, this was my inspiration picture.
Nice.
Yeah, and I tried to repeat the hair, but my hair is different. Yeah, so what I've done,
Hold on just a second. So when you're talking to us, try not to move back and forth. Try to stay still so that we can really just look at you. And then tilt now we have the top of your head. So if you can tilt your screen slightly up, or then we get the full, and that's fine. That distance is perfect. We can look at it at that distance.
Okay, thank you.
Nice. I think you did a great job getting your hair different from your youthful hair to indicate more of a middle-aged look.
I didn't have enough time, but still I wanted to have the shorter hair. So I tried to repeat the face of that lady. So I made my nose a little bit bigger by using highlight. Of course, I create a shadow here, but a little bit lower to make my nose bigger. And I did some wrinkles all over my neck to look
very
more
nice.
older. Yeah, and I also did some wrinkles over here around brows. Yeah, that's what she has. And I changed my lines over here, so my lines more straight, and she has kind of curved lines here. So I tried to repeat it. Yeah, but it was hard for me to do my eyes because my bone is a little bit lower than
hers.
She has. So I tried to create this type of look, but yeah, I also highlighted my wrinkles over here. Yeah.
So now give a big smile and let's see if your nasolabials work that way. Yeah, see how the nasolabials can work even though it's not exactly on your line, it is showing that line. And I think you're very successful.
My line is over here, lower.
But from this distance, you've really created that look of Lisa Kudrow. So yeah, I think the contouring on the face is very clear. That prominent jaw with the shadow in between and then the wrinkles on the neck give you a successful from bottom to top aging from where you are plus at least 20. So very nicely done. Okay. And then go ahead and hide, and then Tyler will go to you.
There we go.
Yeah.
So I think overall, I'm pretty happy with the result of it. I wish the camera were clearer, but it is the times that we live in. So what I went ahead and did, I didn't highlight first. So I went through, cleaned up, then I went through and did foundation, just it's the natural flare. It's what I've been using since our, I think it was our thin fade. No, it was our glamour. So I started using that since our glamour. So I've got that. And I went through, I did a bit of shadow around this part. I don't know what it's called, but it'll kind of line the, it kind of gives like an outline or a depth in the, into the skull, just to show that it's kind of like the eyes, it's caving in a bit. I also went around and I did some bags under the eyes, some shadow, and then right above the shadow, I did some highlights. I think those worked out very well. What I had some trouble with was doing crow's feet, because if I, even the skinniest brush, I wasn't able to truly get the lines. And then when I went through and used either the pencils, it wouldn't create a distinct line. But I did go through and ever so lightly define these guys just a little bit, not too much, but I think just enough to where I think it works.
And then you did some color on your hair.
I attempted to just a moment ago.
Yeah.
This right here is the area of my hair that will never work. If I want to style it somehow, it's going to go, nope, we're going to stick out in the weirdest way. But I did attempt because my dad also has these, a bit of this little work, and I could get it right.
Well, you've definitely aged yourself, so I think that's quite successful. And now that you bring up the idea of the brush, I want to show you a technique to have your brush be smaller.
So, one tiny thing.
Yeah, I'm gonna do
have glasses.
Yeah, on.
Tell me if this works or not. I don't know. I don't think so, but I think it kind of takes away most of it.
I think it takes it away. One of the reasons, because the glass is reflective and the lens is so large that it almost makes you look like maybe you're a little kid wearing someone else's glasses.
Yeah, they're blue light glasses, so it's
Yeah. They're not. No worries. Okay, so you guys, you can do whatever you're going to do and take your selfies, and then we'll just go on for a second. Good job on everybody. And let's go. Oh, hey, Miranda's putting her glasses on. Let's check her out.
Yeah, these are my glasses. And I combed the stripe out, and it looks so much like better.
Doesn't it look great?
Yeah,
it looks great.
It looks like way more realistic. And yeah, so
stay back.
I tried.
Miranda, there's two things happening. You're looking in the computer screen as a mirror, and we're trying to see you through the camera. So lift your laptop. There you go. Just a little. And then from this distance, totally believable. Like hold up the picture of your mom. Oh my goodness.
Let me find.
Yeah. Sisters, look at compared to the Miranda the picture, you guys. Isn't that great?
Yeah.
Mom looks great.
Well done.
Young.
Very nice job. I think very, very nicely done. I think for everyone, let's do gallery. Everyone can turn their cameras on. But I think this is the most successful, I guess I need to turn mine on. This is the most successful makeup that you've done to date. I mean, this is why we work incrementally, is because now you have sort of enough technique to kind of get in trouble and to execute something that really is a makeup that would be very, very, very common. So I'm going to show you a quick likeness makeup that I showed my other class, just because it's a current movie that is out. And I will show you, this is just the subtlety of creating character, because remember, we're always creating character. So this is Sacha Baron Cohen in the new Borat subsequent movie film. So this is Sacha Baron Cohen in a regular, you guys know Borat the movie?
No.
Okay, it is pretty shocking and sensational at the same time. So he's a comedian. He had a very highly educated in Cambridge, UK, lives in the US, he's married to Isla Fisher. He had Who is America as a television comedy series. And he has this character of Borat, which the first movie was Borat, and he made the Mankini very sensational, and it went viral. So if you look at Borat, you'll get a bunch of things. It's quite irreverent, but it is really a look at where we are in the world today. This is his character of Borat. So you see the addition of facial hair, the addition of just the shaped brows to create the likeness from this guy, right? He looks kind of average and kind of, he's got his stubble going. His face is a little broader, and they have made it even more ruffling up the hair to create this sort of frowsy look. Emphasizing the eyebrow, elongating the face, and then with this big brush of a mustache, it's creating it. So he, with his special effects makeup artist, Mark Collier, was turned into Trump. I'll just show you that, because this does include prosthetics. But it is quite an outstanding job. So that's the same guy. So this is, the other class is working on face casting, and that leads into prosthetics. And this is the same character. He has ears on top of his ears. He's got, using the 5 shapes of the face, which I'll upload next time. It's this piece, the cheek and the neck, the chin and the lips, the nose and the forehead, so that the layers of prosthetic overlap and it becomes this character. So it's quite fun to see where the makeup can go in the truly end product. And this is a movie that's out now. So, but you're getting your skills. Now, I want to say one thing about a brush. And one thing that you can do, Tyler, and this will help you out. So when you're working with a flat brush like this, okay, This brush can be also this skinny, right? So a wide brush can be on its flat side, and you can power up your makeup this way. And then as you do that, you create this skinny layer here, and then you use that to create a narrow line. Does that make sense, Tyler? So you want to use your brush all dimensions, flat on the skinny line, and then if you're pressing it from flat to skinny, you can make even a curved shape line. Okay, so you want to work with your brush. You don't necessarily need a smaller brush to make a narrower line. You can actually use the edge of your brush. And this is a very, very large brush. Your brushes are probably almost half that size. So I could use this brush and create this line right here by just creating it on the edge. One of the other things about using the brush is the pressure. So where you're needing a little bit more line, you're going to pressure a bit more. And then as you curve around, you're going to lift up and remove the pressure, which creates a fade at the end. So it not only reduces the size of the line, but the intensity of the line. Okay, and that works here. So maybe here it's not so much, and then here a little bit more. You're going to work on the end, on the edge of it, and then you can lift it up away. So it's both the shape of the brush and the amount of pressure to which you're applying it to create the character of the line. Okay, so that's a practice thing that we want to think about. Also, I'd like you to work on creating a makeup value chart. And that is taking each of your makeup pieces and then working with those to create a value chart from your makeup kit. I'm going to show you what that looks like it's also already on your modules. So we're going to look at that. Oh, I shouldn't have done this. Sorry.
Is this the like labeling them out like a hierarchy?
Yeah, into light to dark. Did you do that?
I haven't done it, but I remember you talking about that. Now.
Right. So one thing that you want to do is go to your modules, and I'll show you this again so that you can just see this value chart. And it's right here. We talked about it at Thin Face. So let me just get a screen share for you. So in your course modules, here under 3 and 4, thin and round, here's the makeup value chart. And this is just a page. And there's a demo, a lecture demo that talks about creating, oh, that's my schematic. And it talks about creating a value chart from white as the lightest color to black as the darkest color. Swatch and place all the colors in between, because you'll be able to use that as a tool when you feel like you need something just a little darker, and you can look at that chart and say, oh, this is my makeup that's slightly darker, or this is my foundation that when I put it on a scale of light to dark that I say is the darkest one and the middle one, instead of every time trying to think, what did I decide last time? Does that make sense to everybody? And so what I'll try and do actually is, let me see if I can quickly grab that piece of the lecture that shows the, here we are. Okay. We are being recorded. So I'm just going to show you this, just look at the first part of this lecture, which is the value chart. And you'll be able to see it. And I think I did show it to you because I have it as a, no, that's something different. So it is creating this mid-tone chart and then looking at it so that you can see it. Okay. So it's on the Thin Face page. Now I'd like to go to Clown, and let me just see if you can, let me get to clown so that we can look with color and have a really, we've got 35 minutes. So let's look at that so that you're ready to go when you come in on Wednesday. Again, we're on our modules. So I encourage you to do that value chart because that will give you a lot of information. And when we go into animal, you really will need that information of degree of hue, which means the color, the degree of value, which is the light to dark. So let's look at this and clown. There's some clown information here, which you should take a look at, which is talking about historically the kinds of clowns, how to develop your own clown character. What kinds of clowns we have. The white-faced clown, also called neat or grotesque. Show clown, wears bright colors. This gives you a description of each of the types of clown. You want to work with the lines of your own face. At one time, only the white-faced clown was in the circus. It actually, the clown has had, over historical value, a place of safety. So if you think about rodeo clowns, they are really saving and distracting the cowboy from, distracting the bull from the cowboy, or in a bullfight, or in a circus, they can be used to as a diversion so that they distract the audience from something that's being set up, or maybe from some kind of a gag. So it's more than just this idea of horror story, which we're all very familiar with It and the very popularity of It, which is of course not a non-entity, but there is this idea of safety and protection. And that's why going into that creepy It kind of clown is so, touches us so much in our heart, because there's both sides then of clown. The clown line needs to work with your own face. So you may not be able to be a happy, jolly face clown. You know, you've done your round face. You can think about, is that, can I be that clown? Or am I going to be a sad clown? And we'll talk about the other kinds. So the grotesque white-faced clown imitates the neat, but is not as skillful and is often silly and makes uncoordinated movement and has a different kind of actual physicalization for their being. The august clown is slapstick. So this is very straightforward. They'll do things, they'll do broad motions. Prankster, they'll do something that they think is going to be very smart, but it backfires on them, so the joke is on them. That's a big part of that. And they are also usually white, but not usually white, but can be like light pink. There'll be a sort of a light pink skin with some kind of shapes, white around the eyes. The hobo clown, the famous one is Clem Cadiddlehopper. He was a TV clown. And they generally have stubble, beard stubble around the mouth, making it look like this is all of the mouth and stubble. And then light makeup behind. So Emmett Kelly is one of the truly most famous, and I think you're going to get some pictures here in a minute. The character, especially clown, so this could be from a nursery rhyme or a cartoon character. And often this is a kind that we want to have go to our birthday parties. So make your own design, work with your own facial lines, exaggerating what you can use. Think about how that's going to work. Look at what the historical pictures are so you have an idea of the authenticity of the clown. It actually has a very valued position. And some of the clown faces are actually copyrighted so that no one else can actually use that clown face. It is designed and executed by that one clown character from the time they start till the time they end, and it changes as their face changes. So all exposed, order of application is the lightest color first, okay? So if you have large areas, it will not be white. Just leave them neutral until you apply the next color. And then you'll do a careful matching of the line together to get one color. And I'm going to show you, I think I might have time today. I'll show you putting white on and how you take white off to create a line underneath that. Or if you're going to put white on top, how you have to carefully use your brush, and you can only go a short, like half an inch before your brush is contaminated with the other color, and then you have to turn it over. So you want to be careful about brush contamination, about putting white or another color on top, because it will change the color and the intent of what you're doing. Best is to put on the color, remove the area with a Q-tip, and then you can have the other color. Making sure that when you're working with color next to color, you're getting the cleanest line possible. And you may find that you would need to outline so that you have color next to color and it's not like highlight and shadow. It doesn't quite touch. That leaves you a perfect area for outline. For example, around the mouth or around the eyebrows, something like that. All exposed flesh must be covered with makeup, especially if you're a white-faced clown. So you can cover that with your wig cap. You don't need to worry about doing your ears and all that. Using no lip color on the top helps create a deeper smile, and they become very wide like this. And no lip on the bottom creates the frown. And this is just a rule of thumb. Don't let the width of the mouth go beyond the width of the eye. So if I was going to do this, I could bring my mouth out to here. Too wide makes it look like a gash. So we think of the Joker, right? And we get that slashed open mouth. And avoid using too many colors. Red, white, black, and red are most traditional. Dark color shapes show up against a white face. Light color shapes may have to be outlined, and this is the thing that I'm talking about with outline. So if you're going to do a pale, you guys don't have blue, okay? You don't have blue in your kit unless you have another source of blue. You do have misty violet, which can lead to purple if you add white. But when you have a lighter color, you will have to outline it in black. So just so that you know, you will be working with very fine lines. So Tyler, this is where you're going to use this brush technique. And you actually, there's noses that you can buy to put on. One of them is the simple round ball nose, but also paint one on in case that one falls off or breaks or does something. Just, you're going to paint on a nose. So just so you know, this is just a just a short descriptive clown information sheet. And men should be clean shaven, or you have to incorporate your facial hair into the design. So Tyler, you might want to shave before we do that. Let's talk about the color wheel. Okay, so we have our primary colors. Of red, blue, and yellow. Okay, and then in between these, the primary colors are those colors which cannot be mixed from the colors in your kit. In between red and yellow, we have orange. If we mix red and blue together, we get violet. And if we mix blue and yellow together, we get green. So you guys don't have a blue unless you have some other sort of blue like an eyeshadow. So you want to think about making your design based on the color that you have. And then this gives you how to mix hues to de-intensify to get gray, how to get a tint, which is a lighter color in value, to get a shade, which is adding a darker color. And then this is the rainbow red. This is in order, going across and around: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, violet, okay? This is a water-based technique, which you guys don't have a water-based makeup, so I can show that to you. And you want to try and use your brushes to create soft edges. So I bring this up because we use this long before emoji, and it looks like emoji faces, but we've been using this for 20 years because one of the things about clown is they are giving a very specific indicator of their character with very simple lines. So that's why it's sort of like an emoji. It's very interesting, but lonely. If we make the brows go like this, and then the face, no lower lip, but just the upper lip down, he can look lonely. You know, it can look negative if we make the brows go up and a monobrow together. So these are here in your Canvas site for you to look at, just to see how a quick impression or a sketch of something can indicate a particular feel. And I'm just saying, because this is very crude, and now we're so used to the emojis that we don't think a thing about it, but these are typical. If we have a round eye and a round mouth and it's enhanced with roundness, we'll have a surprise. So just take a look at these, and they're just for your fun. Let me go out of this thing, because this is just a clown, into the assignment where I think we have pictures. Okay. So I just want to confirm that you're looking at the modules on your screen. Okay. And here is the clown. This is what your assignment is. The SLO to demonstrate proper application of stage makeup using safe, corrective, and effective techniques. So we've just looked at the clown page and descriptions. Pay close attention to the emoji-like expressions. So this would be sort of a unique clown. This is a character by a man named Red Skelton. He had his own variety TV show, and he played a wide variety of characters. And I think this is Clem Cadiddlehopper. So he would have been a slapstick clown or a clown grotesque. Here's another white-faced clown statue. I'm just confirming it's a statue, because suddenly that neck looked very good. So what kind of attributes does your clown have? Life-saving? Is it laughter? Is it to provide relief from something that could be tension-provoking? Like think the rodeo can do that. If you're looking at a bareback rider or a bronc rider, and then you need that relief of seeing the clown being silly because you've just looked at something that could be perilous. So you want two clear and useful references. In this case, try not to use a fashion clown makeup. Use something that is established. So the Joker makeup is very well established. These Ringling Brother clowns are very well established. Create a character analysis for your clown, including what your attributes are. Do your notes and recording. You have white in your kit, your cream liner. And the execution is not included in this because we're going to really work with the technique of brush, getting the white on, how to make it very neutral. And this is a recording, but this is your clown rubric. Oh, I don't want to do that because it makes me go to another page. Just remember, click on your icon. And then your rubric is going to be just your preparation, because the execution is going to be quite tricky. So your references, your character analysis, what kind of clown he is, your notes and recording, and your sketch. I'm going to go to the makeup room for the last couple minutes, because I'll do a demo of Clown White and of a water-based makeup. This will be interesting. I don't have my mask on. Nope. I need to do a demo of some products. Okay, I'm going to show you a couple of products that you don't have, just so that you know that there are other products out there. And then we'll talk about brushes again. Okay. Water. And this is a water-based Aquacolor makeup. So it's different. Your cream liner, also demo cream liner. It's a dry makeup. And to activate it, I have to wet a sponge and put it in here, and then I'll put it on my face. This is Clown White. It is the Professional Clown series. You can see it's very opaque. The texture is very heavy. It gives great coverage to everything that you do. And your white liner, you have to put on multiple layers to make it work in the same way. So here's your liner. This is something that you'll really want to have a clean sponge for. So a clean sponge is going to be essential. And I'm going to start with your liner. And I'm going to power it up on my sponge by really putting my sponge in there and getting a lot of makeup on the sponge. Remember, I'm using the flat side of the sponge. You can see the makeup is on there versus this open side, which has more holes. I want the smoother side. So I have a lot of makeup on so that I can get a nice white feeling. When you're using the white makeup, you need to powder with white. So you can powder with cornstarch, you can powder with baby powder. These are things that can be common in people's households. Okay, and then if you need it to be more opaque, you can do layer up with powder. Okay. Let me get the other lights on. There. So now you're seeing a little bit better view of it instead of a reflection. And again, if I put it on with a brush, you'll see a slightly different texture. So this is a wide brush that I talked about. You can power it up by doing both sides. You don't need to have your full brush be covered in white. See just half of it. And then if I put it on top, I can get a darker, more opaque coverage. Okay, because I can control what I'm putting on. And at the same time, if I am going to make a line, so if you want to make a very nice dark coverage like this, you're going to use your brush. You can go all over your face with the sponge and then touch up with the brush. But I want to show you about making the line. So I can, even though I have a wide brush like this, I can make a tiny line by using the edge of my brush. So that's a thing that you want to practice. Whether you make a wide line, you use the edge of it, and you make the character line go to nothing. Okay, so practice those kind of things. The water base, I'm using an open sponge. You can even use a cello sponge from like a kitchen sponge. I'm going to use this one because I want to get water in it, but not create real wetness, especially using it over the computer. Boy, they'd be so happy with me. And I will put it in here. And I have to activate this with the water to get it on here, right? And I need to make it kind of wet, actually. The great thing about this is the ease with which it comes off. It wipes off with a cloth, which is amazing. you don't need to powder on top of water base. It will dry. So I'll put it here. Some people like to put a base of water base and then paint on top of it with cream liner colors, because you can have a lot of control that way. And this does not smear, because once it's dry, it's dry. But you can see it's not quite as opaque as that. You can see through this. And even putting dry, if it dries and you put it on top, it's a little bit like watercolor. So if I can dab it, I can help create more opacity. And generally, opacity is the thing that you're looking for. The clown white is so thick that generally what we do is we take a spatula. This is just a coffee stirrer, so you can use popsicle sticks. And that will scrape out of here. And it gives, look at the thickness of this. It's really quite remarkable. You can put it on that way, and then you can use a sponge or a brush, but you get a really good coverage. So if you're going to do something like kabuki, or you want to create a mask, this can give you great coverage. You see how opaque it is even compared to your cream liner. If you're going to, I want to see if that's a hair. Okay. If I powder this with cornstarch, it becomes almost an immovable object. It will be completely smear proof, and it will have really great longevity. So you can see that it has an incredible direction. So if we were going to put these in a value chart, this would be the most opaque or the whitest. This would be the middle value, and this would be the lightest value, the water base. I'm going to go back and touch up my water base and see if I can get it a little bit darker. Add a little more water to that. You should just know that these exist so that if you're doing something and you want to have a little bit different effect, you can create it. So that's helping. Again, remember that stippling on will help create a more even exposure instead of creating stripes or streaks. If I want to put color on top, what it said was, you know, to leave a space, but you can do that with a Q-tip, which I don't have. And you can do it with just removing a line. Let's say I'm going to put a triangle in here. So I would create a void by scraping off the makeup so that I'm not putting makeup on top of this. And you'd want to do this void before you powder it with cornstarch. Now up here, I'll try a circle. Notice I'm turning it over so I don't affect my end product. I'm going to take this all out. So you can do the same with a Q-tip, but when you use a Q-tip, I'll just get one to show you. Oh, yeah, I have one right here. When you use a Q-tip, you have to roll the Q-tip so that you're not just smearing the makeup on again in another place, okay? You can actually get it very, very clean, and you can, if you're doing mostly an all white makeup and you're just going to do a couple of indicators of color, then this is the way to go. Do a void by removing the white where you don't want it, okay? Because when you put white, something on top of the white, you'll get a blend that you are not interested in. So I'll use my Misty Violet, which is a lavender, which is the dark purple color, although it, you know, in here it looks, you can see it has a purple hue, but it is really a dark purple value. I'll use my smaller brush. This is one that you guys have. Making sure that my brush is absolutely clean is really important, because otherwise whatever I have on it, and sometimes at the end of a makeup, I forget to do that. I'm noticing this one. I thought, boy, that doesn't look really clean. So I'm just going to clean this on my hand. And again, I would not do this if I was putting this makeup on someone else. Okay. This only works because I'm putting this makeup on me. So it can be on my hand. And then I want to make sure that my brush is completely clean. So we'll just do a little sample. Sorry, looking for the clock. Okay. Same way of loading up my brush. Again, get it halfway on the brush. And then I want to show you what happens if I don't make a void. Let's just, actually, okay, sure. So you'll see I can go over it if I go a very short period, like that far. And then look at how much white is on my brush. So I can turn it over because I have two sides, and then I can continue. But know that you're never going to get as pure a color when you go over something than if you create the void to it. So now I'm going to clean my brush off again with my little spot. And this is how you know that this is really a purple, because that's what comes off my brush when I clean it. So if you want to create a purple, you've got that in there with your Misty Violet. Now let's put the same color over the no white area. You may want the white because it will brighten it up. So again, I'm powering up my brush by using it halfway. Let me put it into my circle. And again, you want to not overlap that white yet. You want to make it go into your circle so that it's very clean. Because where I touch white, I'm going to smear. Now, if I want to, I can vibrate this, and I'll put a line around it, and then I'm going to do a yellow line because that will create brightness of the purple. Oops. Okay. And you guys have yellow in your quad, right? Get out your little quads because those are very handy. So I'm gonna just accent this with yellow to create, again, making sure that I don't have anything on my brush, because boy, if I put Misty Violet in my yellow, it'll forever be in there. And don't hesitate to take a cotton ball and wipe your colors out so that you create a clean color. It should always be very clean. So I'm going to power my brush up again. I'm going to put yellow inside my clown white first, right here on my triangle. You can see I'm using the side of the brush for this. Okay, if I want it to be brighter, I can leave the white and put my yellow in here, and I can brighten it. And then you'll see a triangle with a lighter yellow inside. Does that make sense to everybody? See how you can use, that's the value chart part of this that I want you to look at. And then to make a contrast between the purple and the white, This is a dark purple, but you can see it is a purple, and I'm going to do a yellow line around it. And then you can see that it creates a much more dynamic look. I'm continuing to monitor that I'm not contaminating with that misty violet, and I'm not getting that in my yellow. Okay, so then you have something that is more vibrant and will help stick out. So you can do that with yellow and red. You can do it with a lot of other colors. So this is what you have to work with, is your cream liner, putting it on with your brush, doing it overall with your sponge first, and then putting it on with your brush is helpful. I'll show you, this is the dry, right? Whereas this, if I touch this, comes off. So with any of the cream makeup or the clown white, you need to use a fixative such as cornstarch or baby powder. And then I can put this yellow triangle on this side. And that is on top of my white water base. So it's very clean. And then I'll do the reverse, and I'll put a purple misty violet, which is next to the red on this CL17. And I'll put that around my yellow so you can see just the contrast. So have fun with this. What this is about is learning to put color against color and creating clean lines, and also to understand a little bit about mixing color and creating some new color. And then using what you know from thin face and round face to create the clown that will be most amenable to your face. Okay, so let me put my misty violet around my triangle so you can see the reverse and see what creates dynamics. What color next to color, how much of one color next to a color. Again, I'm powering up my brush on the flat side so I can use the skinny side. Look at how skinny that is. Again, you can't see it, but I'm anchoring my elbow here. I'm not holding my arm in space. I'm anchoring so that I can create a line. If I need more anchor, I can put my finger on my face. That's about all I'm going to get, and I'm going to have to create another swipe. So one thing I've done is I've not completely gone through the ends, and now I'll finish it. So it takes a very, just making sure I don't have it contaminated. This requires a steady hand. Okay. So which seems more dynamic? The dark line around the light versus the light line around the dark. Now I might be able to get that if I added a line around here as well. If I do this, I'm working cream on cream, so you can see I'm picking it up. If you powder with cornstarch, you can even maintain some of the color, so you might want to do that. So that's going to really slow me down. but it does give a great dynamic effect. I'm still trying to anchor and get my hand around there for you. I anchored on the end of my nose for that because I didn't have anything. So then you can see by putting a line around there, you get both things to be more obvious, right? That's your mini clown lesson. See you on Wednesday. Remember, a week from today, no class, no Zoom class because it's the President's Day holiday. It's actually no Zoom on Friday or Monday because there's a 2-day holiday creating a 4-day weekend. I don't know about Saturday classes, so I shouldn't say that, but you guys won't have Monday. And I'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Good job. Excellent work today, you guys. I can so see the improvement. I see the technique. I see you understanding the structure of the face. So refer back to your skull and I'll put the 5 shapes of the face up too. Bye-bye.